Hi, welcome. My name is Katherine. Welcome to Hatha Flow. Today you will need a blanket, potentially a block. We're going to be doing some shoulder and neck work while we're in standing poses, so a block can be helpful. And maybe a strap if you have trouble binding, interlacing your fingers behind your back. Let's start on our hands and knees. Spread your fingers really wide, wrist under shoulders. And I'd like you to exhale and round your back, lifting your spine towards the sky. Drop your head and just take a few rounds of breath here, breathing into your back body, letting the shoulder blades part. Feel your hands connected to the earth. One more breath into the back body and out. And then inhale, coming in to cow pose, head, tail lifting, broad chest. Few rounds of breath here. Moving those shoulder blades down the back. One more breath in here. And then exhale, come to a neutral spine. And we'll do some lateral cat cow. So on the next exhale, look over left shoulder towards left hip. Left hip comes towards that left shoulder, a little side bend. And then inhale, come back through center, second side. Exhale, look over right shoulder, right hip comes towards right shoulder towards right hip. And then inhale, come back through center. Let's do that a few times on your own. The exhale is the lateral side bend. Inhale, back through center. Once more, either side. And then let's meet on our bellies. Arms alongside the body, right side of the face to the mat. We're going to do a variation of locust. So on an inhale, right leg lifts, left arm sweeps out to the left, and then forward as you gaze forward. Exhale, head turns to the right, release back to the floor. Left cheek is on the mat now. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Sweep the arm out and then forward. Exhale, rainbow that arm back out to the side. Return to the mat. So just like that, moving with the breath, alternating limb. Really think about length here as you're doing it too. You're trying to increase the length of the spine. Each time you lift one leg and sweep the opposite arm forward. Slowing the breath down. Like you're moving through honey. Once more on either side. But place the hands under the shoulders, come on back up through hands and knees. Balancing cat. Extend your right leg back behind you. Try to keep your hips level here. Flexing the back foot. You're welcome to stay here or extend your left arm towards the front of your mat. You're welcome to stay here or flow with the breath. Keep drawing your tummy in as you exhale, bending right knee towards left elbow. Inhale, extending. Let's do about 6 of those. Keep moving with your breath. Good, and no hurry. When you finished your sixth one, return both hands and knees to the mat. Come back onto your belly, arms alongside the body, forehead to the mat. On an inhale, lift your arms and legs, locust pose. Exhale, return to the floor, one cheek to the mat. Inhale, once again, come back up. Gaze forward, broad chest. Exhale, opposite cheek down to the floor as you return the limbs down. This time, let's come on back up, and you'll pause here. Options, maybe the arms are just alongside the body. You're also welcome to give yourself a bind. See if you can feel the strength of your lower glutes, a little bit of your hamstrings here as you stay lifted. If you do decide to do a bind, please make sure that your chest is actually broad and the heads of the shoulders are indeed moving back. Let's take one more round of breath. And then exhale, return to the floor. Come on back up through hands and knees. Balancing cat, second side. Extend your left leg back behind you. This could be a great place for you to be today. Just practicing keeping those hips level. Maybe the right arm extends as well. Perhaps stillness in this pose is really what your body needs, or maybe you want to flow with me 6 times. Exhaling, bending elbow and knee towards each other. Inhaling, extending the limbs. Keep moving with your breath. Try to keep your chest broad as you move through this. No hurry, but whenever you're done, we'll meet in downward dog, lifting the hips. Spread those fingers wide. I'm trying to move your shoulders a little bit further away from each other. So you're creating more broadness in the tops of the shoulders. One more round of breath here. You return to your hands and knees. We're gonna move into a twist. Well, first we're gonna kind of come in and out. I've recently heard of this pose being called checking under the bed. So inhale, lift your left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, slide the left arm through like you're gonna land down in the twist, but don't do it just yet. Inhale, come on back up. That's one. Let's do 2 more and then we'll land down in the twist. Just kind of threading it through. Okay, on the third one, you'll thread the left arm through, land the left shoulder, pressing the back of the left hand into the floor, gently drawing the left shoulder back behind you. Good, come on back up through hands and knees. Take a moment, just noticing the sensations of your spine. And let's do the second side. Right arm reaches up on the inhale. Exhale, slide it through. Inhale, lift. Let's do that twice more. Landing the shoulder down. Oh yeah, and of course you can do a bind here if you like that with your arms. Press that bottom hand down, the back of the bottom hand down, and try to draw the bottom shoulder away from your bottom hand. Good. Come on back up through hands and knees. Let's meet in downward dog. Pedaling the feet. And then now lifting the heels equally. Lift them up high, lift your hips a little higher. How long can you get your spine with this position? Take a slow breath in. And then slowly tiptoe your feet towards your hands. So the heels are lifted, tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. And meeting in a forward fold. Uttanasana. Gaze at those knees. One more exhale here. Bend the knees. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Coming to a standing position. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. And just take a few breaths here, congratulating yourself, coming to your practice this morning or afternoon or evening, whenever it is that you have decided to dedicate some time to yourself. Thank yourself. You can even imagine maybe your future self being like, thank you, past self, for moving your body, because I feel better. And then let's move into a half sun salutation. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. See if you can lift so that your shoulders are like in line with your hips. You're really, truly doing a spinal extension, getting strength in that upper back. And then exhale, fold back down. On an inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. That's one. Let's do two more half sun salutations to the rhythm of your breath as you're ready. Inhale up. Exhale down. Halfway up is the extension. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, reach up, stand up. Exhale, palms together in front of heart. Okay, truly, this one you'll do on your own. I won't cue it, I promise. Inhale. Oh, just did it. I'm just noticing how good it feels to breathe. Just breathing, nothing else. Good. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive down. Step your left foot back to a low lunge. The back knee will be up. Pause here for a few rounds of breath, gazing forward, moving your heart forward. For some people, the floor might feel a little far away here, and that's when having a block under either hand might be nice. We'll only be here for about one more breath. Great, and then land your hands, sweep back into plank pose, and lift your right leg. So one-legged plank. Draw the tummy in. On the next inhale, three-legged downward dog. Lift that right leg. Bend the right knee and open up that right hip, stacking right hip over left. Good, level out the hips, right foot next to left. Come forward into plank pose, and then we're gonna lower down onto our belly, either through chaturanga or maybe just coming on down. Arms alongside the body. Let's come into locust pose. Inhaling, lifting up. We'll be here for 2 breaths. Planting the hands, moving back to downward dog. Noticing the sensations of your body. Lift the heels and slowly walk tiptoeing back towards the top of your mat into forward fold. On the next inhale, sweep up, stand up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Second side. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, dive down, step your right foot back, lunge. Gazing forward, heart reaching away from your back heel. Pressing your feet down into the floor. So try not to hang low in this pose. You're really pushing the floor away from you. Feel the strength of your legs and arms. One more inhale here. And then exhale back to plank pose. Lifting now the left leg, three-legged plank. And if for whatever reason this isn't working for you today, you can always do this on hands and knees. On your next exhale, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee and open the hip. Good, go ahead and level out those hips, both feet to the floor. Release the heels towards the mat. Now your choice, if you like that tiptoeing towards the hands, do that. You might want to hop or just regular step towards the front of the mat, but let's meet in a forward fold. On the next inhale, reach up, stand up, palms together in front of your heart. Good. Moving on, inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down, step your left foot back for a high lunge. Now, both hands are going to come to the hips. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor, draw your tummy in. And it's okay if you need to bend the back knee. I want you to really feel the sensation of this pose along the quad. I'd like you to really keep pushing yourself up away from the floor. And then right hand to right hip, and you're just going to start to circle your left arm. We can link this with the breath. The inhale can come forward and up. The exhale, moving back and down. Let's do that twice more. And then reaching both arms up. With the next exhale, step back into a plank. Spread those fingers. Either move back into a downward dog from here, or you can move down to the floor through chaturanga. On an inhale, come up into a cobra or upward dog. What feels good to you this morning? Exhale, downward dog. Take a few breaths. Either hop or step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Bend those knees. On an inhale, chair pose, Tadasana. Make sure you can see your toes, your hips are moving back in space. I like to have my feet a little wider, like the knuckles of the toes aren't touching. Feel it out for yourself. Whatever helps you feel more stable. On your next inhale, push down into the floor, reach up. Exhale, dive back down. Forward fold. Step your right foot back, come into a high lunge. Lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. Maybe bend that back knee if that's going to help you do that. Draw your guts up into under your ribs. Left hand to hip. On an inhale, circle your fists forward and up. Exhale, circling it back. Keep moving with the breath. Pushing the floor away from you. Feel the strength of your legs. There's a buoyancy to this pose. Circling the fists forward and up. Both arms reach up towards the sky. Let's take a rounded breath here. High lunge. Exhale, step back into plank pose. You're also welcome just to move into downward dog and hang out there. We're going to move through a vinyasa if that suits you. We meet back in downward dog. Either hop or step to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Exhale completely in the forward fold, gaze up the knees. Bend those knees, inhale, come up into chair pose. Let's take about 3 rounds of breath here. Hips moving back in space, feel the weight in your heels and your toes. With an inhale, reach up, stand up. Exhale, dive back down. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. A few rounds of breath. Okay, go ahead and step 1 foot back, pivot so that your toes are pointing to the long edge of your mat. This is a place where I recommend using a block, even if you don't need one, potentially, just so you can focus in on what's going on in the neck and shoulders. Just have it close by where you can reach it if you need it. Okay, turn those toes out. Let's come into goddess pose. Roll the shoulders forward, up, back behind you, and then interlace the fingers. Maybe those elbows are bent. Maybe they're straight. Again, heads of the shoulders are moving back though. Please grab a strap if you need to. Draw your chin slightly. Let's see if I can do this inside of you. Okay. Draw your chin slightly towards your throat and then move your head back in space so that it feels like your head and heart are aligned over each other. Soften your gaze, soften your mouth. Maybe sink a little lower. And then dropping now your chin to your chest, we're going to circle the head. So imagine you have a piece of chalk on your nose. You're going to draw a circle in front of you on a chalkboard, I guess, in front of you, right? Nice and slow. Good. And then other direction. Circle. Drawing that tip of the nose. Keep moving the heads of the shoulders back. Good. And then lifting the head, release the arms, shake out the hands, straighten the legs. Trikonasana, triangle pose. You're going to turn your toes to the right. So set it up, your triangle pose. This is where a block might be handy in front of the front foot. You're going to come into that triangle pose. And for the top arm, instead of going just straight up, I suggest going to the side here, or bicep over ear, kind of like you're doing side angle pose. Do try to stay open in the chest here. Do try to keep that bottom shoulder blade moving onto the back. And then the top arm's going to move a little bit. Stay connected to your feet. As you inhale, cactus the top arm, bend it. And then exhale, straighten. Now keep moving. You can gaze forward, or if it feels okay for your neck, you could gaze towards the sky. You're feeling the outer edge of the back foot touching the floor, the ball of the front foot touching the floor. Good, keep this cactus position here now. And now hopefully your top shoulder is kind of in a good spot, so you can circle it around and bring the back of your hand to your low back. Bend the front knee coming into side angle. Move the heads of the shoulders away from you. Head turns to look at that right foot. Let's take a couple breaths here, maybe leaning the head and the heart back. That top shoulder is moving back in space to help you release any tension in the left side of the neck, face. Good, and then come on back up. Straighten both legs, toes point to the long edge of the mat, extend your arms left and right. And from here, glue your feet to the floor. They're not going to move anywhere, but I want you to engage the muscles that would cause them to slide together. Just slightly engaging those muscles. Extending the arms out, almost like your arms are continuations of your collarbones. And as you reach those middle fingers away from each other, the collarbones spread and broaden. Take one more round of breath here. And then we'll do the second side. So toes turn to the left. Trikonasana. Grab that block if you like that. And then pressing through the ball of the front foot, the outer edge of the back foot, as well as the ball of the back foot. Top arm, bicep by ear. And please, please, please let your top hip come forward a little bit if it needs to. If your pelvis doesn't become flat, if you don't stack this top hip over the bottom hip, that's totally fine. And then we move with the breath. So inhale, cactus. Exhale, reach. So gazing either forward or up. Inhaling into a cactus, pause there. Sweep that arm back and just rest the back of that hand on this low back, gazing at your bottom foot, or the foot that's underneath your face. Moving the shoulders back in space, softening the jaw, deepening the breath. Good, bend the left knee, come on back up. Once again, toes pointing to the long edge of the mat. Open the arms out wide, take a deep breath in here. Exhale, fold forward. Gazing between the legs here. Lifting the hip creases towards the sky. And then walking your hands over to your right foot. Pressing the feet down, keep those hips lifting. Opposite foot, walk those hands over. Good, come on back through center. Hands to hip, come on up. Okay, so we're gonna do Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. We're gonna be balancing with our foot. Please approach this in a very spectrum way. I'm going to give variations to do. Don't hold on to the wall. Like really, really challenge your balance. And if that means you don't get to hold on to the foot, no problem. I'll talk us through it. So beginning in Tadasana, rest your gaze, find drishti on something eye level in front of you. Drawing in the low belly, lifting your heart space. Let it be buoyant away from the low belly as you connect to the earth through your feet. And then you're going to shift the weight of your body into your right foot, bending the left knee. Okay, so this is variation 1. So maybe you just kind of hold on, lift it in some way. Okay. Second variation would be just extending it. Now you're really working. Third variation would be grab the big toe, bring your right hand to your right hip, pushing down the feet, lifting, lifting, lifting. Feel your breath. Okay, so now Even folks who have their knees bent, you can do this second variation. So the second variation would be the second step to this will be opening the foot or the knee wide. Keep breathing. Pressing down into the standing foot. It's okay if the left knee has to bend a little bit. I know I'm bending mine. Good, and then swing the foot forward. You're gonna grab onto the foot or maybe the outside of the knee if you're doing that variation. Move into a twist. So the left hand can be on the hip, you're rotating your heart to the left, or maybe the arm is reaching out. Woo. Surprised I haven't face planted yet. Okay, untwisting, both feet to the floor, check in. How you doing? Good, let's do the second side. Shifting the weight to the left foot, bending the right knee, finding a variation that feels like doable for you, reasonable for you this morning, afternoon, evening. Maybe you grab a hold of that big toe. The breath will let you know. Keep the breath moving smoothly. Hips are as level as you can get them. And then swing the leg or the knee open. Right, so it's like you could hold on to the wall so you could do this, but also you're missing out on like all the cool stuff that's happening in your bottom leg, right? Like shaking or wiggling around. All that is building muscle. Good, and then swinging the leg forward, switching out with the hands. Maybe the hand to the hip. Maybe the arm reaches out. Keep breathing. Try to get those hips level. Sometimes that right hip just wants to kind of pop up a little bit higher. Ooh, okay, go ahead and untwist. Both feet to the floor. Woo, that was a long one. Let's do a half sun salutation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. Let's do 2 more half sun salutations. Keep moving. Last one. Okay, come on down to the mat and let's meet on our bellies. Okay, a little bit of core work here, tied in with a back bend. So you're gonna have your forearms parallel. We're in Sphinx Pose. And just taking a few breaths here. Just noticing how good it can feel to be in Sphinx Pose. Good, and then I want you to tuck your toes, firm up your legs. On an exhale, you're gonna lift your tummy, hips, and maybe you just stay on your knees. Maybe you come into a forearm plank. Stay in forearm plank with an inhale. And then exhale, move again. You're gonna bring knees down, thighs, pelvis, uncurling into Sphinx. Stay in Sphinx for an inhale. Tuck the toes, exhale, tummy in, hips lift, thighs, maybe knees, forearm plank. Stay here for an inhale. Exhale, lower down knees, thighs, hips. Sphinx for an inhale. Last one. Exhale, move, tummy, hips, thighs, maybe knees. Stay here for an inhale. Exhale, knees, thighs, pelvis. Sphinx for an inhale. Take a round of breath in Sphinx, broad chest. Okay, downward dog. Hands under shoulders. Lift those hips. Really lifting those hip creases. Once again, lift the heels. Press through the hands, the base of the fingers. Spread those fingers, lifting the hip creases. We want to get as much extension in the spine as possible. Stay here. Turn your head to the left so you're looking at your left bicep. And then head back through center. Turn your head to the right, looking at right bicep. Come back through center and release back down to the mat. Take a moment in Virasana. So you're sitting on your heels, just resting. If this doesn't work for you, find any other position that does work. And we'll just pause, just feeling the breath come in and feeling the breath come out. Nothing else to do here, just breathing. Good. Okay, rolling the shoulders. Next, we're going to do reverse plank. I like to do half plank, but if you feel like full reverse plank is where you're at today, please do it. To begin, hips on the mat, feet in front of you. Having the fingertips pointing towards the top of the mat. For some folks, turning the fingers out is a better fit. That's nice if you are feeling really confined in your chest right now. But do spread those fingers. Bring the shoulder blades flat onto the back. And then as you're ready, press the hands into the floor, lift the hips. So if you wanted to do full reverse plank, you just straighten out the arms. Stay lifted. You can keep the head lifted. You can release it back a little bit. Let's take one more round of breath. And then releasing back to the floor. Coming to Sukhasana, crisscross the legs, feel your breath. Great. Okay, so next we're going to move into bridge, and then we're going to have an opportunity to do Sarvangasana. So have your blanket ready. If you've never done Sarvangasana before, then don't start today. But if you have in your practice, have that blanket ready to do it. I don't know, will I do it today? Maybe I will. But let's first come into bridge pose. Lifting those hips, keep your gaze on the ceiling as you're there. You can interlace the fingers underneath you, walking the shoulders a little closer towards each other, nice and long in the neck, open in the throat. You really want to be able to feel the lower glutes working here. So if you're having trouble connecting to them, you might want to take your feet just a little bit wider. Good. And then release. Hips back to the mat. Options. Do bridge one more time. You could do legs up the wall. Or your Sarvangasana. I can't watch you at home, so please take care of yourself. As you're ready, get into your pose. Please keep your gaze on the ceiling if you're doing an inversion. And it's best to do inversions when you are not on your period if you're a lady. Take a couple more breaths in whichever pose we've chosen, taking care of ourselves with whatever pose we're taking or doing. And then if you've choosing to do an inversion, you can move into plow pose. And then rolling back down to the mat. Everybody's on the floor now. Take another round of breath here, just not asking much of your body for the moment. Good, and then fish pose. So if you have a blanket underneath you, go ahead and move it. Do fish pose. To begin, I'd like you to floint your feet. So here, you can take a look at my feet. I'm pointing my feet. I'm flexing my feet. And floint is like somewhere in between. I'm reaching through the balls of my feet, kind of like Barbie doll feet, I guess. And the toes are peeling back and spreading. Have your legs together. You're going to walk your hands underneath your bottom, elbows bent, broad chest, and then reaching the top of the head to the floor behind you or that direction. And you're really pressing down into the elbows to broaden the chest. If you have neck injuries, shoulder injuries, you may want to sit this one out unless you know how to navigate it skillfully. And then we'll release back to the floor. Take a round of breath. Bending right knee into chest, Uttanasana. And options here. If you like to grab your toe here, if that feels helpful, accessible, you could just start to straighten the right leg. Some of you may get more out of just interlacing the fingers behind the thigh and pressing the thigh into those hands, hands into thigh. That's kind of nice to get a little bit of strength there as you're doing this. Reaching the toes back towards the knee. And then let's move into a reclined pigeon pose. We'll bring right ankle over left thigh. I'm threading my right hand between the legs and meeting up with the left hand behind the left thigh. See if you can press your sacrum into the mat, letting your low back get a little light here. Maybe the low back comes off the mat a little bit. Good. Untangle the legs. Let's do the second side. So Uttanasana, left knee bends into chest. Moving into a hamstring stretch, calf stretch of your choice. So maybe you're grabbing that foot. Maybe you're creating a wall for your hamstrings. Press those hamstrings into the wall of your hands, if that's the case. The toes, if they peel back towards the knee, you're going to get a stretch of your calf. Notice the quality of your breath. Reclined pigeon, left ankle on top of right thigh. Rounding the sacrum into the planet. Plug it down into that earth. Let your low back get light instead of your tailbone. Good, and untangle the legs. Let's just take a simple twist. Drawing these into the chest And then they come to the right. Left arm moves off to the left. You can rest your bottom hand on top of the legs as you turn your head to the left. Coming back through center, releasing the feet to the mat, and preparing for the second side. Head turning to the right. Good, come on back through center. Release your feet to the floor. We're going to do a variation of Reclined Cobbler's pose, and it's kind of like you're moving your knees a little bit like a butterfly wing, like butterfly's wings. So to begin, you're going to inhale, opening the knees as wide as they can go. And then on an exhale, you're going to close the knees 1/3 of the way. They're going to come just 1/3 of the way to close. And then inhale very slowly, opening the knees back up. And then now exhaling back to 1/3, 1/3. And very slowly opening them back up as you inhale to as wide as they go comfortably. And last one, we're going to exhale, closing to 1/3. Inhaling, opening. Okay, 2/3 closed. Exhale, closing 2/3, a little higher now. Inhaling, opening up. Nice and slow. Go slow, just like your breath. Exhale, 2/3. Inhale, very slow, opening back up. It's okay if it's a little bouncy or jumpy. Last one, exhale 2/3. Okay, now we're going to close all the way, just like we did previously. So exhale, close all the way. We'll do it 3 times. Inhale, nice and slow, opening. Nice and slow, like your inhale is slow. Exhale, nice and slow, closing. Inhale, opening slowly with control. Last one. Slow to open. Good. We're going to do that, but now with legs straight. So straighten your legs towards the sky. You're going to hips on the floor, heels reaching up. So on an inhale, slowly open the legs as wide as they comfortably go. And then on an exhale, slowly close the legs. That's one. We're going to do 2 more of those. Again, nice and easy. Moving through, honey. Slow breath. Good. And then next time the legs open, you're going to pause there and bring your hands to the backs of the knees, bend the knees, kind of like you're looking like a little bit of a frog, and then straighten the legs, reach through the heels, bend the knees, looking like a frog, straightening. So I'm kind of supporting my legs here. I've got my elbows on the mat. We'll do that a few more times. Oh, and we'll do this with the breath. So inhale, extending the heels. Exhale, bending it, give it a little break. Good. Next time you bend the knees, I'd like you to reach your right arm through the legs, grab a hold of the right heel. Extend your left leg long on the mat, and then reaching the left heel towards the sky. Now, if you can't grab that heel, grab the lower part of the leg, but please reach from the inside instead of the outside. I want your in this half happy baby pose, I want your hips to be able to really open up wide here. Take an inhale here. On an exhale, draw your tummy in and let's switch sides. Reaching that left arm on the inside of the legs to either grab a hold of that heel or outside of shin. Good, and then release. Both feet are going to be on the mat. Both knees are bent. Locate your block. If you don't have a block, that's fine. You could just do a regular bridge. You're going to press your feet down into the floor and then just slide the block underneath your pelvis. So this is below your low back. This is the heavy bone of your pelvis is resting on this block. If it feels weird, it's probably too high. Usually this feels pretty relaxing. And then from here, you can just rest your hands on your belly and invite the tissue and the organs under your hands to relax, release. Perhaps sending some kindness through the hands to your organs and tissues. Just like you would send kindness to a loved one through your hands. Like if someone was having a hard day, maybe you'd bring your hand to their back, or you'd hold the hand of a friend. As you inhale, the belly expands into the hands. As you exhale, just feeling the natural sinking of it. Nice. And just a few more options here before we make our way to relaxation pose. Stay here, feeling the openness in the hips. You might want to straighten one leg for a few breaths, then the other. Some people, it feels really good in their body to straighten both legs. I tend to get back pain when I do that, so I don't like doing that. But if you do, please do it. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. Good, and then you're going to lift your hips, remove the block, and release to the floor. So please feel free to sit up for taking a meditation instead of relaxation pose if that's a better fit for you. I am going to take us through a little bit of a guided relaxation before we come into relaxation pose. We'll probably do about maybe 2 minutes of silence after the relaxation, the guided relaxation part. So to begin, I'd like you to really crunch up and like squeeze the muscles of your right foot. So you're like squeezing the muscles of the right foot. I'm kind of like pointing, or maybe you want to flex and kind of firm up the entire right leg. Feel your butt squeeze on the right side. The whole thing is really getting tight. Take a deep breath in and let that right leg completely relax. Now let's move to the left leg. So Either point or flex the left foot. Really feel the tension, the strength, moving up the entire leg. Feel the left glute work, squeezing. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale. Let that left leg, foot go. Right arm. Bring your hand into a fist on the right side. Squeeze that arm, maybe bend the elbow, flex those muscles. Feel the shoulder where it plugs into the upper body, maybe even flattening the right shoulder blade onto the mat. Take a deep breath in here. Let it go. Let those hands unfurl. Left side. Left hand comes into a fist. Squeeze it. Bicep strong. Flatten that left shoulder blade onto the back. Feel the biceps work. Inhale. Exhale. Release that left arm. Now start to tense up your stomach, tense up your chest a little bit. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Release the low back to the mat. Organs towards the floor. Chest softens and opens. And now face. You're going to squeeze the face. Squeeze all the muscles of the face. Take a deep breath in. Let go, relax the face, maybe wiggle it a little bit, close the eyes, and just sink into stillness. Feel the muscles of your body give way to the bones. Feel the bones sink into the floor. Breathe slow and deep for the next about 2 minutes for Relaxation Pose, Shavasana. Take a deep breath. If you're able to stay longer in relaxation pose and would like to, please do. If you need to move on with the rest of your day, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then take a big morning stretch, waking up nice and slow. Eventually drawing your knees into your chest and rolling to one side. And pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat of your choice. We'll meet with our palms together in front of our heart. Just noticing how you're feeling. If you were able to benefit from your yoga practice today, take a few moments to rejoice. And imagine you could send these benefits to someone special in your life. Who would that be? See them clearly wherever they may be in their day. And then we're going to send out these good feelings, these benefits on the out breath to our friend. So take a deep breath in, gather it all up, send it out. See them smiling, feeling energized, focused, strong, centered. Thanks so much for practicing today. Namaste.